Sometimes the smartest money that you make is the money that you walk away from. Now, I learned this lesson the hard way. Standing on a $15,000 roof job, hearing the sound of tile crack underneath my foot. So we packed up, we left the job, and we never looked back. And that decision probably saved my business a massive headache. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. So, if you have been in this business for any amount of time, you have had those moments where your gut told you something just wasn't right. And if you're new, this video might just save you from learning that lesson the hard way. Now, in How to Wash 2, we have got a Q&A section under every single module where people can ask their questions. And this one came up recently, and I thought it was too important not to share because it is a perfect example of when knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. I've got a customer with dust buildup on their blue house. I've yet to do a test spot to make sure there is no discoloration like you teach, but my gut says bleach is a no go. I've seen people use different chemicals to deal with this, but no real answers. Just a bunch of comments about what doesn't work. What's your advice on something that's actually going to lift off the dirt without interacting with the paint? Okay, so that's a solid question. And this is also where a lot of guys overthink things. A lot of guys also overcomplicate things and they get sucked into the equipment and all the doodads, tons of different chemicals, not always needed, most of the time at least. And there is a time and a place, obviously, for specialty chems, but a lot of time is just wasted. A lot of money is wasted by not knowing which chemicals to use, how to use them properly, and which chemicals actually work, the brands that actually work, the companies that are reputable that sell these products that are priced competitively and stand behind their products. So if it's dust and it's not organic growth, you don't need bleach, right? Bleach is for killing algae and mold and mildew. Dust, it's just dirt. And in situations like this, water alone is probably going to do the trick, right? So you start with the rinse, you see how much comes off with low pressure and no chemical. Now, if it's really caked on, grab a soft bristle brush, agitate the surface a little bit, and then rinse again. 9 times out of 10, that is going to get everything, taken care of. Now, if you're still stuck, that's when you move to a mild wood safe detergent, something that is sodium percarbonate based. Apply, you let it dwell, you rinse it off, and that's probably going to knock it out. Now, if you've been there before, if you understand what I'm talking about, if you fought those battles, comment down below and say, been there, done that. But that is not what this video is. It's not about chemical. It's not about equipment. And now here's where the question actually gets interesting. Now, like I said, this isn't really just about cleaning dust. It is about decision making, right? It's about making the right choices. Because if you show up to a job like that, wood siding, you're unsure how to clean it safely, or if your gut tells you it doesn't feel right, that's the moment of truth. And it's okay to walk away. It's okay to educate yourself, to go ask the questions before you get started. I've been doing this for over 20 years and I've learned you don't need every single job. You just need the right jobs. Now, when safety, damage risk, or your reputation are on the line, walking away is sometimes the smartest choice that you can make. Now, let me tell you about that roof story that I mentioned a little bit earlier. We had a $15,000 terracotta roof job for a hotel. It looked like a phenomenal opportunity, great opportunity to make some money. But the very first call, I knew something just didn't feel right, right? It felt off. The owners, they were already negotiating before I even gave them a price, telling me, oh, it's not that bad, or it won't take you that long, right? Everything that they said was a red flag. And I've dealt with these type of folks before. Now, we agreed on a price eventually. We showed up, we started working, and the roof was worse than expected. The soft wash wasn't cutting it. I stepped onto the roof to get better coverage and crack. One tile, then another. And that's when I decided, nope, old roof, brittle material. And I knew right then, these weren't the kind of people who would be understanding, right? And I could already see that blame game turning, right? It was coming. So I decided just to shut it down. We packed up, we thanked them, we told them what was going on, and we left the job. We left $15,000 on the table. Good decision, probably, because it probably saved me tens of thousands of dollars in damage, insurance claims, and reputation. People start chatting, people start chirping, and your reputation can be hurt really quick. And that's really tough to, rebuild. But that's the lesson, right? Just because somebody calls doesn't mean that they have to be your customer. You're going to spend money on ads. You're going to spend money on marketing. You're going to go knock on doors. You're going to cold call. You're going to hustle for every single lead. And it's easy to feel like you can't afford to say no. but there are jobs that are going to cost you more than they will ever pay out. And there's a difference between a difficult customer and a customer who just isn't the right fit, or a customer that's just a bad fit. Now, a difficult customer can be managed through clear communications and setting expectations. But a bad fit, that's where there is no trust, there is no respect, and there is too much risk. Now, even if you're doing everything right, those are the people who can still ruin your week. They can ruin your month, they can ruin your year, and they can ruin your reputation. And that's why we have a solid customer contract in place that covers almost every possible scenario, every situation: damage, delays, weather, payment terms, you name it, it's in there. And it's great because we upload it into Quote IQ. The customer agrees to the estimate, they check the box, they're agreeing to the terms and conditions. We're locked in, right? It is just another layer of protection for you and your business. And if you don't have one, there is a link below to get the same one that we use without paying a lawyer thousands of dollars to draft one and get it to you. So if you take anything from this video, remember this: sometimes the smartest money you make is the money that you walk away from. Now, if you've been there before, if you understand what I'm talking about, if you fought those battles, comment down below and say, been there, done that. And while you're down there, go ahead, hit the like button, the subscribe button, turn on notifications. And that is it. If you want to learn more about How to Wash Too, like I said, there's a link down below. Get a customer contract, protect yourself, protect your business. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.